now we are ready to roll.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Netherblock, the show where we build a 64 by 64 by 64 block of nether eventually.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Al, and that's it.
That's it.
For this week. Everybody else got fired, and they had to move to Louisiana where it's hot and humid and nasty.
And watch horror movies. And review them.
In their pajamas.
Yes. I didn't think that was that bad.
It was that combined with the ugliness of the air conditioner.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I was weirded out by. I had to leave I almost cut out her explanation, but then I thought, well, no, this really needs to be here. Wow!
Whoa! Ah.
It's still the same old rubber bandery server, Joe.
Yep, even with two of us, it's still doing the thing. We're discussing Komette and Tony submitted their first review, which I was actually glad to hear they liked that, because I'm kind of looking forward to that movie.
So they are not fired. They are at the Overlook Film Festival, and the first movie they watched was The Dead Don't Die. They submitted a review.
Murray and Adam Driver.
They hated it.
Yeah, like I said.
They thought the characters were terrible and the plot was bad.
Really enjoyed it, and they got real dressed up for the review. And didn't have an air conditioner in the background. They came back. Apparently, they're also wusses from Colorado, so they're down there like, oh my god, it's so hot.
No, it is. Okay, don't listen. I live here. I was in my room the other day. I had the air conditioning on. I had the fan on. I had everything, and it was still like, I'm miserable. I need to have the air conditioning on more. Well, I don't want to. I've been trying to also
experience summer, but for them it's like they have like no humidity where they live, so it's like even when it's negative 10 degrees, they're like, oh, it's not so bad. And when it's like 100, they're like, oh, it's not so bad. Like, whatever. Anyway, so they got back from all their movies, and Komette apparently was like, I'm changing my pajamas, I'm taking off my makeup, and it's blah blah. And then they were like, oh, we have to record. So our first review from Overlook has Komette in her pajamas.
The thing was, like, I don't actually notice the no makeup thing as much. Like, I can tell. I didn't know why she couldn't go back to her other, like, fancy clothes. I didn't get to ask her. She's not here to defend herself, so I don't want to go too far down the, like, why didn't Komette do the good thing road. But
yeah, no, it's fine. She's not here to defend herself, Al. You can go all you want down the why didn't Komette do the good thing road. Fire, you bastard. How is this so...
Speaking of the heat, the thing that's exciting for me is it's summer now. My wife,
is it officially summer?
My kids got home from their last day of school today, Joe.
Oh, I thought you meant like planetary-wise.
No, like real people-wise.
Not like you globetards. Oh my god, that was the most ridiculous skeleton I've ever had.
But
so kids? What's going on?
The kids are home from school, and everything is terrible. No, it's fine. They're fine.
That sounds...
Kids are great.
A weird mixed...
We're getting more of them.
How many more?
One more.
How many is that total?
6.
Like, we should just do a reality show about... I guess we can't do that. Foster care.
Yeah, they do have some limitations on what you're allowed to say.
You go to the witness protection program and we'll do a reality show based on... Where's Albert? Or who's that Al?
It is kind of interesting where you're like... You start out with 2 and you think, I don't know, man, I don't want any more. Maybe we'll take a baby. And I've been thinking of legitimately thinking about this pretty hard of like, why am I doing this? Like, not in a I don't want to do this anymore, but kind of a sense, just like, what? How did I get here?
I don't know. I've never really wanted kids. I don't understand this drive at all.
I wanted kids. And I like all these kids.
Keep adding more on.
It keeps not, like, here's the thing. Here's sort of where I think I'm at, is you start with 2. It's like, okay, we can handle this. And you add another one. It's
no, you start with 1. You don't start with 2 unless you have twins. You start with 1.
I'm saying from my perspective. No, here's the thing, though. AJ was long enough ago where that's just, like, a constant. So when I made the decision to get into fostering, I had 2. And I told my wife the reason we're getting into fostering is because I don't want us to have any more kids because the doctor said it was dangerous for her. And I didn't want to be tied down for, like, to kids, right? So I was like, well, let's just do the fostering thing. We can help people. And it's just been sort of a, you know how, like, you turn the heat up on the frog and he's okay with it, and he's okay with it. I don't know if the water's boiling and I don't know about it right now, or if...
That's the worst analogy. God almighty.
Or if it's just like, you can actually handle more than you think you can handle. It's one of those two.
I mean, what's the difference?
Well, eventually the frog dies.
Yeah, and if we kept shoving kids into your house, eventually you would die.
Yeah, I would die
Well,
eventually
I guess you have the
anyway,
wherewithal,
so...
like, is the frog able to jump out of the pot? He doesn't? Is that the thing?
Yeah, so like the idea is if you were to
Right.
turn the pot on full blast, that he would immediately jump out, but he doesn't notice because of how his system is regulated. I also haven't ever tried this. I have frogs in my area.
I've never heard of this.
You've never heard of the frog thing where he sits in the pot and you just turn it up a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and he just boils alive?
No. Is that how they cook frogs?
Apparently.
It's just a
It's one of these famous...
Why'd they just put a lid on?
No, it's an illustration, Joe, and now that I'm saying it, it's one of those things that, like I said, I've never tried, so I don't actually know if it's true.
Oh my god.
What?
So, what I just added, the Netherblock I just added, you had a wonderful line where, just very brokenhearted, you're just like, Tony, the arena's dying. Because a creeper had gotten, or a couple creepers had gone off around, the arena's dying. I don't know what, I guess you go there? I'm trying to rebuild. A creeper just went off and it's just a tad chaotic.
Okay. But yeah, you've never heard that saying about you never heard the illustration? How about the one about the elephant? Where you tie the elephant tied in the circus, and when he's a kid, you tie him to the stake and, like, he can't move it, and then...
What do people do to animals in your... Good God, no!
You've never heard that one?
I don't
So again,
think
this is another one of those mind over matter things, like you're more trapped than you realize, it's the Matrix, take the red pill sort of philosophical ideas. But they say if you take an elephant, when he's a little elephant, and tie his foot to a stake that he can't pull up, he'll try to pull it up, and he'll learn, oh, I can't pull the stake up. And then when the elephant grows bigger, he can pull the stake up, but if you keep him tied and he remembers not being able to pull it up as a little kid elephant, or I don't know what you call it, calf elephant?
Sure, that sounds right. Calf sounds right.
Yes, if he remembers not being able to pull it up, he'll just not really even try. He'll just stay stuck to the stake like he always has been, even though now he's big enough and strong enough to get away. You've never heard that one? I'm pretty sure that's in 7 Habits, which I know you've read. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Don't think it's in 7 Habits. If it is, I didn't read it very well.
Okay. You read it very well, Joe. You read it better than any of us.
You're
the best of us, Joe.
Why does Minecraft hate me? Oh my god.
Live, die, repeat, Joe.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit. This is the worst. I don't know what's happening. Help. I think I might need
can't help, Joe.
No, I don't understand. I can't even turn.
That's weird.
Oh my god.
Are you still experiencing it? Because I'm good now.
No, I'm like in one of those. You can't move. The block is controlled. You're like lodged inside between 2 blocks, or I don't know what's happening in the game exactly, but that was terrible. That was just the worst experience ever. Great. Thank you for that, Notch, or Microsoft, or whoever we're hating on at the moment.
I'm pretty sure it's firmly in Microsoft's hands at this point that's what happened. Although I will say we are playing the Java edition, so maybe we can still thank Notch for that bit of decision making.
Whew, that was rough all over.
Black and blue?
What was I going to say?
And red all over?
I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, you can, I mean, you can train dogs to sort of have that same basic, you know, they could do something, but because
you can tie them to an elephant and the elephant won't move?
Yeah, yes. And then the mouse eats the cheese.
Then the water boils and they don't leave.
Yes, you can train a dog to make pasta, Albert. I don't know why you're having so much problems with this frog. I have so much stuff in my inventory, I forgot what I was getting. I don't know where I'm going.
What you know at this point, though. Like, which one of these allegories have you heard of?
I don't know. None of those. I think I've heard something about a frog freezing, but that might actually happen.
Yeah, that's another thing that I've heard happen. I want to believe that's true. I'm not even gonna look it up.
Thing, it sounds familiar enough, but I've been told so many things about dogs recently too that I don't. It is just terrible in this arena. It is the worst. It is the worst.
There was something that I fully believed as a kid, and I don't know for sure if it's not true, so I'm still gonna want to believe it as an adult. That, like, there was a incident of a frog being cut out of a log, like, in a pocket where, because of the rings of the tree, you could tell he'd been in there for many years, like more than 10 years, and he had just sort of hibernated in the log.
I'm fairly certain there is a frog that does that. Not that, what you just said, but
like,
that
so, like one frog, like, here he is.
Yep,
Steve.
Here's Ethel. He's real big on making kit cars, which is interesting. And there's a species of frog that, when winter comes, they're just like, all right, we're gonna get lodged in ice for a bit.
They do, yeah. I know the one about they get like literally frozen in ice, and I think some fish do it too. I don't know if like multiple years are possible.
Yes.
We need to get some frogs, put them in boiling water very slowly, and then freeze that water.
Oh,
they're gonna be clear ice cubes.
No. That's.
Is that another fallacy?
No, that was a deep reach. That was actually, yes, that is the fallacy. Boiling water does not make clear ice cubes.
I remembered you having that problem, Joe. That's where I was going. I still don't know if it's true or not.
It's not. You need like ice. You need the bottom. You need a big chunk of ice, and then the bottom of it, or the top. Probably that makes more sense because the sediment will sink to the bottom, and then the top will be nice and clear. Like there's ways to do it like that.
There's a way we can test this.
No, it's actually a lot more involved than you'd expect.
To freeze water?
To freeze water so that the sediment.
No, I just want to take like here's a Tupperware container with water that I got out of the tap, and here's one
clearly that's
that
not going to do
boiled the water.
Oh, oh, yes, the boiling you can test. I thought you were testing the height differential sediment.
No, I don't care about like I don't need clear ice. I just want to know if it's true or not.
It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, but like what? Okay.
I don't know. I don't need a lot of things. We don't need a giant nether block.
Yes,
but it's.
That's accurate, Joe. Let's think about all the things we have in our lives and think like be contented.
I'm gonna just beat my head against a wall. This rubber banding
the clear ice. Oh,
not the clear ice. The rubber banding, and then also the fact that the arena's just not.
This
fun.
got worse somehow.
What, the rubber banding or the arena?
No, the dirt block is like darker.
The
nether block. I am taking off this roof. I don't care.
No, you're not!
Yes, I am.
Why are you out? No, you're not! No!
Come and stop me.
Fine!
Why can't I jump? There we go.
You can't remove the roof from the... How do I get out of here? Where am I?
Come at me, bro!
You can't take blocks off of the nether block! This is treason! I am the Senate! Anyway, we have to start over in Factorio.
Because we're not the cool kids, we have to fit in, is that the deal?
Well, there is something to that argument, that, like, that's what people are looking for to watch Factorio-wise. And if we're gonna break a new series in, we should probably have the version people want to see. Other thing is, it's weird for me to, like, play on my... Well, actually, on my own, it's interesting. I'm running out of iron in my main patch. I'm gonna have to do the train thing soon.
Okay, that's better. Just chop some skylights.
How did you even get up there?
What?
I guess it's not that difficult anymore.
Oh no! Oh no! It's very difficult to get back down, though. Having that same, like, you bounce problem.
Oh, the nether block is taking its revenge. That's what it is. Yeah, nothing to say to that.
Bumbles bounce, Joe.
And Albert's remove blocks from the nether block.
Alright, run. There are so many. Get off, you goober!
I just have to go up and fill it in again. I mean, it's... Let me do your work for you. It was real. It's really dark over there. At night. Boy, is it dark.
At night? Yeah, that's how night is.
In that horrible area.
It was pitch black.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, like, even in daylight, it was completely dark.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. We'll fix it.
It's not gonna be fixed. I don't... It was a stupid thing that was done. I don't know why we have to keep it that way.
Because it was done. You're not allowed to remove from the Netherblock.
But we're not allowed to put light down either.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Are we being trolled this episode? Was that the rumor?
I'm sure that was what I was told anyway. We are on alone currently. I think we are alone now. There doesn't seem to be anybody else around.
Have you watched The Umbrella Factory and The Umbrella Academy?
No, I haven't. Okay, so I started it. I watched like 20 minutes of the first episode.
It's good stuff. Except it's another one of those things that I thought was going to be a one-off.
Oh, and they have a big cliffhanger.
Oh, by the way, this is just one series, one season of it. Yeah, I can speak. Words are really helpful at times.
Are you okay today, Joe?
I enjoyed that. Well, I'm flustered that you took Nether off the Netherblock.
Okay. I gotta watch. There's a free episode of the Doom Patrol, like the first episode. They put it up for free, and I want to watch that.
This is. You've mentioned this a bunch of times, and I keep asking about it, but not remembering.
It's like the Avengers, but with bad guys.
What's it on? I guess that's the first.
DC All Access, or not, is it All Access or DC Universe or whatever they call their dumb streaming service where they have.
That's why I've never looked into it. Oh, you know what's so annoying is I was looking up Endgame when that might show up for digital viewing, and they're gonna have it exclusive to the Disney new Disney viewing thing.
When you say exclusive, you mean you cannot buy it, or
I believe they're going to have it on there exclusively for a period of time.
That's wild. Like if you couldn't go on like Apple Movies or whatever.
I'm not positive, but I was disheartened when I looked up news because I was like, oh god damn it, they're gonna do this. I'm not using their stupid Disney viewing app to see
I can understand putting it out there first. Like, let's say you have a free trial and, you know, Avengers Endgame is on there, you know, for like a month before it is anywhere else.
Yes.
I could see that as being a very smart business decision, trying to get people over there.
Yeah, but it's still not. You need so much to upend the.
They have all of the Disney catalog, so they do have quite a bit, and all of Fox now.
And all of Marvel, but yeah, people are used to not having Disney though. I mean, they also make it like what are you eating? They also make like not having it available being part of their marketing, so they're kind of burning themselves at both ends there. You can't be like, you know, it's in the Disney vault and not available for anyone, but also like we're the only ones who have everything that you want to see. Can't have it both ways.
I saw a video on YouTube recently where I was like, this guy's crazy, but kind of making a point. Where he's talking about the monopoly of copyright and how that was sort of going to be the end of the streaming services, because the fact that like it's not a real competition between streaming services as long as there's exclusive. Like I can pay and I'm the only one who has Disney movies.
Well, I mean, it's a competition, but it's a competition of the content, not the streaming service.
Right. It's not
so
like...
It's not like whoever has the best like menu design is going to, you know, kick butt.
Right. It's not it's not about pricing. Well, I mean, I guess it's somewhat about pricing, but it's more... Right. It's... you don't have to innovate if you're Netflix as long as people are coming to watch Stranger Things. Because the Stranger Things is the innovation.
Yes. Well, Netflix has innovated a decent amount.
So, this person was like, and that's why... You know, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. And I thought, that's where you're crazy. But, I mean, I get what you're saying. What
does he think they're going to do?
I don't know. He just wants different copyright laws.
Yeah, I mean, there's sort of a case for that, but sort of not.
It depends on the length of the... I think that I wish it was shorter.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, even for things that aren't, like... I mean, 1945 should be in the public domain now.
Yes,
I just picked that number out of a hat, but that seems reasonable.
Where is the date?
It's 1930 or 29.
I mean, if you write something when you're 20, And then
none of the people who were
40 years.
This is not to benefit any author. Like, write something else.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hey, it's difficult, you know? Like, if you get your one hit, you should be able to benefit from it for your lifetime.
No, the whole point of copyright is so that you don't sit on your lees and be like, well, I wrote my one thing. It's so that you can get some benefit from it. Yeah.
What's a lees?
It's like a metaphor, right? The lees, I believe, are the dregs. So, like the bottom of the, like if you don't shake up your apple cider, it's settled. You know how it settles, right?
And then you have clear ice.
Yeah. So the idea is don't just settle down and let yourself.
I get that. Laurel, if we're resting on laurels, if we're resting on, well, no, mainly laurels. Mainly laurels.
What did leaves have to do with anything, Joe? I said leaves.
Leaves, laurels. Don't rest on your laurels.
A laurel is a leaf. It's a leaf crown.
I know. It was a victory leaf crown.
Who is going around like, man, I don't have a cushion, but I did just win this race.
It's the same exact thing. It's a metaphor, but it's the one I've heard, not.
Right, but I can explain mine.
I can explain mine.
Okay, go for it.
In olden times, in Greece, you would win a laurel wreath for your victories. Don't just sit around, using those as your ticket to fame and fortune. Go win more races.
Oh, win another one. Okay.
What did you think? What did you think it was trying to say? If it not that, just gibberish.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm making fun of you, so I'm allowed to intentionally misunderstand sometimes.
I mean, sometimes. I wonder how many other just complete crossroads of sayings exist that we've never. We've stumbled onto like 8 this episode, and I don't think we've stumbled onto that many in like a long time.
Oh, most people don't care about words or like what things mean that much.
Explains our group exactly. And our
you do. I don't know that Komette would have been interested in that conversation at all.
Yeah, but it still would have happened because we just yell over Komette.
Sometimes.
No, it's pretty. I edit this a lot. It's a lot of. What you'll also do is you'll pause as if you're listening to what someone says in response to you, but then like pick up the train of thought that you dropped when you stop talking and continue it. It's just like, wow, I wasn't paying the slightest bit of attention. Like the other thing I think about frogs is that they're yellow and sometimes green, and what on earth?
Ah, the dying of the arena.
Yeah, did another creeper go off?
Oh, I thought it was 3. How is it not 3? Ah, it's 4.
I don't know what that means. I just really don't know how to answer that question, and I don't know how to I don't know what you could have been yelling. Obviously, that was not directed at me.
3
but I cannot
creeper swipes. I thought you could kill them in 3 swipes. I could have swore it was 3 swipes.
Well, everything's changed. Then the Fire Nation attacked. What is this gold ring over here? I guess it's come up a lot. No one's figured that out.
What gold ring?
In the Nether, there's just a gold ring. Okay, no.
Where?
Oh, I can't give directions in the Nether. Ow!
Wait, is there?
Oh God,
are you
I've
buy
got 2
anything?
Ghasts. It's by these ghasts.
I can hear them.
Whoa! He dropped a fireball. Oh no! Everything's dying. So
So you're down?
Whoa!
Oh, I see you. Okay. I don't come over there very often.
No one does, but there's a gold ring. Ow! 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 No, don't.
This is more like a gold square.
Yeah. On the ground, it's ring square. Yes, Penny, it's wonderful. You ripped the toy apart. But that would last a little longer.
How long did it last?
About a day. When I get out of toys for the most part.
Too bad. I used to have a chewing dog that you just couldn't give her toys.
Yeah.
Except for one. She had one sock with a knot in the end that I think she had for like years. Literally anything else, if you gave her a toy, she like she loved it, but she just was immediately like, oh, chew.
Yeah.
Oh, I can rip this. I can rip that. I can rip it all. All of it's gonna get ripped.
Yeah.
And
it's weird. It's a weird mix of like, hey, you have this fun toy, and then it's done, and there's fuzz everywhere.
And you want to be mad? You're like, you enjoyed it, but I didn't. It's not why
she'll eat my pillows. That I get mad about. Like, if I give her a toy, I'm not like, you play gently with this. I'm like, yeah, let's play tug of war. Go get this. Yeah, chase it. Like, that's a good thing that she's working out energy and having fun.
I haven't thought about that dog in like 2 years, Joe. It was a good dog. She had seizures.
They're all good dogs, Brent. My sister's dog has that.
Yep.
She has to take I forget what it is, but it's some. Whoa!
I mean, it's whatever people take to stop them from getting seizures.
Yeah, I want to say it's like fentanyl or it's something crazy.
I want to say.
Yes, phenobarbital. That's what it is.
We used to have to give her like we would fold up cheese to make her eat it because it's little tiny pills.
Yeah. And they were ordering phenobarbital. It's just like, what in God's name? What in blue blazes?
Which you can just basically get. I guess you have to have a prescription technically, but it's way less regulated for pets.
No one cares anymore about that. We got bigger drug problems. We're taking phenobarbital for fun. Godspeed to you.
I saw a guy. There was a dude on YouTube who was talking about an ayahuasca trip that he went on, and Go ahead.
I feel like this hole is much larger than it ever was or ever has been.
Which hole?
And there's like to the one side of the terracotta bridge. There's a giant hole.
I'm coming.
I don't know if the gas exploded that or someone.
I could not tell you. I'm coming to look at it though. But one of the things, I think this is actually a separate video, he was talking about, like, he was working through, thinking about, like, his childhood and his relationship with his dad. And he talked about how he was kind of a lazy kid growing up, and his dad was sort of always pushing him. You're talking about just, like, the missing blocks here? Is that what you mean when you say hole?
Now.
By the terracotta
bridge.
bridge.
You can see down to, like, the lava layer. I didn't think you could do that from the bridge before.
Oh, that kind of a hole.
Oh,
okay. I mean, it's all lava layer. It's all lava layers.
All the way down.
But he was talking about how, like, as a kid, he was super lazy, and I say lazy, you know, not interested in the stuff his dad was interested in. Wanted to stay inside, play video games. His dad was like, get out and play sports and be motivated and stuff. And then, like, when he became an adult, even though he resisted his dad the whole time, he sort of turned into the person his dad wanted him to be. On his own?
Yes.
It just... but then, like, his relationship with his dad was still strange. Huh?
How did we get here?
This is something it's just something I wanted to talk about, really.
Yeah.
But it's on my mind as a parent thinking, like, how much am I supposed to push? Like, did he become the person his dad was because his dad, like, pushed him so hard when he was a kid and it just didn't take until later? Or was he always going to become that person because of genetics and his dad just, like, wasn't there, like, you know, saw in him the version of himself that he didn't want to be, and so he was trying to push back at it, and that created all kind of strife for them?
I'm 100% certain if you had taken that child and put him in a box and just fed him water and food in the dark for 20 years, he would not have grown into the person that he did.
Right, but was there a better way? Did it have to be the sort of fight between the two of them?
That I don't think so, no.
I mean, because he talked about...
The opening of Seven Habits sort of talks about this, which I found unbelievably profound. It kind of blew my mind. It was talking about parenting and how the author was talking about how he had, you know, a kid that no one really got, and they kept trying to, like, you know, you should be this, or why don't you do this? Without listening to the kid, really. They were just sort of imposing themselves on him, and how that didn't work, and they sat down and really strove to listen to him and understand him on his terms.
I don't think that's in the intro.
Turned everything around.
Wasn't the intro the one I listened to? Because I know this because you brought it up in the chat, and I listened to the intro like twice, looking for the reference that you were talking about. I was like, he doesn't talk about his kids that much in the intro.
Well, yeah, there's also 13 versions of the book, which we've learned.
Yeah.
At the end, he talks about. Did you get the one where he talks about, many years after? Now it's been many years since I published it. And I get these questions a lot, and
yes, I did get that.
Apparently, his son, I don't know which son it was, but maybe it was that son, wrote the teen version, and they really milked that cow.
I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of stuff about, like, I think there was 7 Habits for Families, and there was a lot of stuff about
family
that touched on family stuff that I found very helpful. So,
you should read the family one.
Maybe I should. Maybe I will one of these days.
I wanted to revisit. I can't believe I've remembered this and get to do this. You were talking about the story he told about calling the doctor who was at the football game.
Right, yeah.
And you were like, geez, that's like, I don't want to have that kind of... That doctor was on call. Like, doctors know when they become doctors or work at a hospital that one of them, or 2 of them, or whatever number, depending on the size of the hospital, will have to be on call. There's always an on-call doctor in case of emergencies at the hospital. And
why not just have somebody working at the hospital?
So if something goes wrong at the hospital.
Oh, no, that's not. That can't be how that is then, because they could have just called the hospital.
He was their doctor. Okay, yes. I don't know exactly how it works. I know there's always doctors on call, and their doctor was busy or was on vacation or something, and so they had to talk to the on-call doctor.
Okay.
Which was that guy, and he knew going to like the football game or wherever he was doing that weekend that people might, he would have to field calls. That wasn't like I'm so dedicated to my work that you can call me anywhere. Like, that would be a tad insane.
He was, in a sense.
Well, yes, but that's just part and parcel of becoming a doctor.
Okay.
That and the chicks. You have the chicks, but you have to be on
okay.
call.
Do you have to sex them?
What is your... no, that's too difficult a question. I was going to say, what is your favorite Human Echoes moment ever, but that's a bit much. So we can go down memory lane with you.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Timers here.
I mean, you can ask the question. It doesn't. I don't have to give an exact, like... I didn't want to lock
you up, like, instantly. I wanted to sort of have it a little more free-flowing. Oh, okay. Crap, that's... But now that I've expressed it, it's already out there, so...
That is a little bit tough to think of.
We were just looking at the Kerbal...
We were just looking at the Kerbal slide. I frequently I'm not sure what you're laughing at, so sometimes you're laughing at me and I'm like, I don't know what I did here. I'm sorry.
Why are you hovering around? What is happening?
It's gotta gain some speed, okay? Hold on a second.
Wow, Albert, I'm sorry I doubted you. This is astounding. Holy cow. I've never seen anything move sideways at 7 miles an hour before in my life.
This is gonna go into orbit, baby.
I'm crying.
I don't know why you're laughing at me. Can you hear the Rocketeer theme playing in the background, Joe? Just in your mind.
I was just thinking about what this Kerbal was thinking.
We're gonna do our gravity turn now. I don't know why you're being so negative. We're gonna get there.
700
feet. Look at how much fuel we have still.
It's like... Oh, God, you invented the Segway, Albert. Congratulations.
It's a different type of failure, at least. And now you guys know what that button does.
Yes.
This is primarily a teaching show, Joe. Very much tutorial focused. I'm doing the best that I can. And you're just giggling. When we're laughing together... Oh, this is probably just, like, nostalgia talking. But I still very fondly remember us playing, like, the very first role-playing game we ever played.
Yeah.
I
was thinking about that.
With the Mormon Tabernacle
Mormon
Choir,
Squad.
who were also assassins, fighting a skeletal dragon that had been brought to life.
Yeah, dinosaurs, I think.
And there was the Man of 1,000 Voices.
And one when he ran, like, the head of the other team were in, like, a used furniture store. Yeah.
he ran of his Man of 1,000 Voices business out of a used furniture store. That's accurate.
There was also... That was the Universalis.
Yep.
Which was just bonkers, as far as... Like, it supposedly had rules, but no one understood them, and it was like, all right, now we'll do this. which resulted in a lot of fun. And then we tried Fiasco, which had slightly better rules, but still
was slightly less fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was just Universalis was so everywhere. But I also the motorcycle club from Fiasco that was actually a charity organization, but like the people came to town and ended up killing them.
Outside.
They were the good guys to get. But no one realized it until like 3/4 of the way through the story, and then we're like, wait a minute.
You realize you're locking yourself into having to link to all this stuff with little cards when you put this episode up, right?
Is it even still on? Is it anywhere?
You didn't delete it, did you? Like, you had to at least leave the videos up. They can be unlisted if you want to link to them.
I guess. Oh, man. That's some horrible sound quality and stuff. Talking about going back and seeing the early yeah.
It's fine.
No, that is borderline not fine. It's hard to hear stuff. We didn't know how to, like, level people, so they all said the same.
Yeah, but half the people were being recorded through Skype, which automatically leveled you. So,
oh, God. Remember how much we love Skype?
I still love Skype, Joe.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I wish it didn't, like, mess with our microphones.
We had to switch off of it because it was doing things we didn't want it to do.
Right, but if it wasn't doing those things, I would still be on it.
Yeah, but it is doing those things. You can't. That's a weird argument.
What? No, it's not.
Yeah, the things that it's doing that made us leave it are what makes us not love it. I mean, I don't understand. What do you want?
It's dark here. You made another cover, I think. I can't tell if it's another one or like the same one. It's annoying. Whatever it is.
I will also say I can watch the best of Kerbal almost at any given moment and be in tears laughing so much.
The only thing that holds me back from loving that unabashedly is the fact that when we were recording it, there was so much like, and here we are warping to the moon for 5 hours.
I barely remember that. I had fun doing that entire sequence of things. And then I thought you were going to say the thing that still holds you back from loving it is that half the time it was you'd put a lot of work into a rocket and it would just explode on the thing or something.
Yes, just so everybody's on the same page. And that. What? No, that was fine. That was par for the course. I would just always think about like, oh man, like people are gonna be bored. Can I edit this in a way where it'll be interesting? Yeah. I'm always walking the line of what edit do I want to make.
I understand that now a lot more with XCOM. I'm constant. XCOM makes me editing that literally makes me like have anxiety because I'm like I don't know if I should be cutting this or if I should. It's really not an easy thing to do. In the end, I have so many things to edit that I just sort of give it a good pass now. It's amazing how much multi-camera helps. Man. I should be a multi-camera in more things.
How come?
Because you can cut silence or you can just switch and it's like...
Oh, so you don't like to just like slam from one thing to the next?
I'm not a huge fan of that, no. And I'm also not sure if the things I'm slamming through are things I should be slamming through or people want to see that gameplay.
If it's like... So, one thing, I'm not as afraid of that as you are. And for the other thing, one tip that I have is if you have like some awkward silence that you don't... Like you want it to flow better with the video, you can take the two pieces and put them together audio-wise closer, and 99% of the time you can just stretch the video over the stuff that you cut together. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So you can take, you know, like if there was a pause between two pieces of dialogue, and you didn't want to have a cut for each pause, or maybe there's two pauses, you can just cut all that together and then grab the video from after where you have the cut and just sort of stretch it back over the audio. Audio tips with Al and Joe. Or editing tips? Whatever.
I hear it. It sounds like a cat.
What does?
It's not a cat, it's a ghast.
Oh.
It really sounds like a cat.
It sounded like somebody's doing something with a drill in my house, and I thought you meant that sounded like a cat. I don't know who that is. I don't think it's the next door neighbor.
people are just doing things around Al's abode.
Yeah.
Today.
My son is buying apps on his tablet without my permission. I got a receipt from Amazon for $2 for Geometry Dash. And I walked out and I was like, all right, who spent $2 on Geometry Dash? And he was like, and I'm like, okay, well, you can't have your tablet. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, like, I don't care that you're sorry. You can't have your tablet.
Kid's got some agita. Although it's Geometry Dash.
Yeah.
So part of me has to be like, well, he's getting like decent games. Well, actually, I have no idea what if that could be just the.
Do you know what Geometry Dash is?
I have no idea. No.
It's a rhythm-based. Like you have a little block that runs along, and they have to jump over spikes and stuff, but music plays over the jumping, so you're jumping kind of on the beat of the music. It's very addictive. They're learning music that they would not otherwise be exposed to.
Synth vibe.
Yeah.
Deep South rap.
A lot of Old Town Road on there.
Oh no!
That's a song that I haven't actually heard, but that is seeping into the zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's a weird.
I mean, I heard it. So, like, I've heard pieces of it. The guy, the guitar player I told you about last week, he had an iteration of it on his channel. Right. I don't think. What? Oh no!
Oh no! No!
No!
No! What?
I just saw a horse burn to death in our campfire.
Ew.
He was just standing on the campfire, rearing back and turning red.
That's horrifying.
If you had a frog, that wouldn't have happened, Joe.
Well, yeah, if you put him on the campfire directly. The thing I don't know about Old Town Road though is it an old song and a rapper like remixed it?
No, it's just a rapper who made a song, I guess, about it.
No, because it's what's his face? It's Achy Breaky Heart.
No, he remixed. So they made the Old Town Road song. It got kicked from the country billboards because they said it wasn't country enough. And then Billy Ray Cyrus, I guess, sort of in a effort to get it to, like, you know, the accusation was essentially, you guys are being racist, not having the song on the country charts because, like, you're just judging it based on where it came from, not the actual content of the song. That, like, he does his cover, which I don't know, like, how that fits in with the racism angle. Consider, you know, like, is he now the white savior that's writing in, legitimizing it?
Nice. I don't know. I don't understand.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just saying, like, once you start making that calculus, you just can't ever stop. So that's why I don't care to make that calculus that often.
Wait, so the version I've heard is Billy Ray Cyrus remixing?
Oh, I don't know which version you've heard.
The one that's everywhere.
I think it was like it was pretty popular before Billy Ray Cyrus came along.
Got involved. Okay.
Well, he's frozen, and so you know he just sort of came along to help out with the controversy, as it were. You guys can't get me. And then I guess they can kind of get me.
I've made a huge mistake.
I don't know how different it is from the original iteration.
Yeah, the whole thing has confused me.
It ended up on the Rambo trailer, though. Last Blood.
I have not heard anything about that. Thankfully, I think. I don't understand.
They're making Rambo Last Blood.
What does that mean? Is Stallone in it?
Yes.
Of course. Of course. So what is he, 80 years old, going to Vietnam and
so everybody has been making the...
He has a delightful trip there. Appreciates Asian culture.
He goes and donates plasma. That's why it's called Last Blood. Everybody's are comparing it to, like, adult Home Alone, but not adult in, like, a Stormy Daniels kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's what, Rambo 2 was a lot of that. I think that was the trap.
A lot of traps in the trailer, from what I can tell, so...
That's gonna do it, though.
Yep. That's what we think about Rambo.
You can only sleep at night and during thunderstorms. If you like what you see and hear and stuff, usually there's more of us. Like and subscribe to the channel.
If you like this iteration of the Netherblock, let us know and we'll fire the other two. We're always looking for feedback. You can become a patron to vote twice on the firing of Komette and Tony. If you become a $20 member, Komette has to wear regular clothes when she does reviews instead of pajamas.
I don't want to open the door if people...
That was a joke. Nobody gets to pay Komette to wear clothes.